All right. Hey, everybody, it's Dr. G. I am a functional medicine physician and a family doctor, and today I want to talk to you about natural ways to reduce pain in the body. And the first thing I want to do is give you tools that if you haven't tried and you're hurting, especially if you have pain all over, joint pain all over, it's worth giving it a try. The one thing we learn in functional medicine is that when the body's inflammation goes up, everything can go to hell in a handbasket. And so we have to lower inflammation. And the primary place to start with lowering inflammation is the gut. Okay. So, an elimination diet I have seen work miracles in people. Your doctor may not know about this. And so, it's something that you can do without having to have it's very safe. So, you don't require a doctor's guidance to do an elimination diet. If you want me to send you a free elimination diet template, send me an email, clinic@feelgoodfunctionalmed.com, and let's get you started on an elimination diet to see if taking out, and I tell you the biggest thing I've seen is that for some people, reducing gluten makes their pain so much better. So much better, even if you don't have celiac disease. So that's the first thing. The second thing I learned not too long ago, and this was from an incredible book by Dr. David Perlmutter called Drop Acid. And it's not about doing hallucinogenic mushrooms, although that'd be something to talk about entirely on a different day. But it's dropping acid. It's about lowering uric acid levels. You guys may have heard of uric acid. It's funny, it makes me think I've been watching Franklin lately, which is Benjamin Franklin's story when he goes to France and he's trying to secure help for our very young country. And he has gout. And so uric acid is the causative thing in gout. What you didn't know, what I didn't even know, is that elevated levels of uric acid in the blood can lead to increased inflammation and increased cardiovascular risk. And so it can make us feel worse, even though we may not have gout. So this is something your doctor can check your uric acid level, super cheap. And it's also something that you can adjust your diet so you get the level down and lowering inflammation in the body. So those are two good ways that if you're having a lot of pain, you can begin to change this. And so I know that changing diet can be hard. I know I am a testament to this. I'm a woman who I still some days break down and eat things like pizza because when I was in my 20s, that was my comfort food. Oh my gosh. But I know it makes me feel bad afterwards. So it's just hard to change diet. And sometimes we need other things that are easier to get our symptoms a little bit better. And so that's also what I'm going to talk about in this presentation today. Other ways that you can improve pain in the body, reduce symptoms that will help you as you're trying to ease into making some nutritional changes that might really help reverse root cause. Some of the technology I'm going to talk about also can help with reversing root cause. So that's really what we want to do in functional medicine. We talk about trying to get to the bottom of the problem, right? And how can we make ourselves feel better and take our health into our own hands, right? So I've been a family doctor for a while, and one of the things that happened to me is I got sick. I had to figure out how the heck to feel better. And so I got some extra training in some of these, what we call complex medical illness in the functional medicine space. And one of the tricks I learned was looking at biotech and trying to see if there is value, whether or not it's worth trying, because these days there's all kind of things out there. But the reason was because I felt terrible. I felt bad, and there was not a clear answer. When I got my labs checked, they were normal until I checked the right labs. So many times in functional medicine, we will check different labs than in conventional medicine. Conventional medicine identifies the tip of the iceberg, the disease. Functional medicine, we want to try and get it when it's just a seed of a disease and you don't have the full blown thing, right? Um, in medical school, I was taught kind of DNA was our destiny, and that was why we were trying to map out all of the DNA. It's just not true. In fact, what you choose to do in your life, your thoughts, your actions, what you're exposed to, all of these will change genetic expression in the body. And so that's what we want to tap into. How can we change genetic expression? Of course, exercise will help change genetic expression, sleep, nutrition, stress management. This is the biggest thing that I see is that people right now, we're all running from a tiger constantly. And if you can possibly tap into lowering your stress, you will change genetically what's happening in your body. What's other also interesting is all these things will reduce pain. So exercise releases endorphins. It has been shown to reduce pain. Sleeping well reduces pain. If you sleep poorly, your pain will be higher. If you do not manage stress, your pain will be higher. And we talked about the nutrition piece. So these are all natural ways that you can start to reduce overall body pain if that's plaguing you. Um, we know that your choices are going to inform what genes are expressed and the level of inflammation in your body. We're trying to lower inflammation as low as possible. And if we can improve the energy in the body and give different instructions by the choices and possibly some novel biotechnology, we're going to feel better. We're going to be able to reduce the inflammation, start to heal the body. As we get older, we don't heal as quickly, right? Well, it's because we don't have stem cells. The stem cells are those universal cells that decline as we age, and they're choose your own adventure cells. They can become different kinds of cells in order to facilitate repair. And by the time you're in your 60s, you have a very, very low number of active stem cells. And what we know now is that light can influence many of these processes that our body will use to heal up. And so this is one of the main points of this talk is that not all your doctors out there have enough time to be looking into what I call the new medicine, which is energetic medicine. Light therapy will be given to everybody in the future. And you guys, 20 years, talk to me, we could talk. But it is true that specific wavelengths of light change things happening in the body, change what proteins you make. And that's one of the main things we're going to talk about today is how light can affect these pathways. Also, we're now working out the mechanisms. We clearly know that light can improve ATP production in the cell by affecting the mitochondria. Cytochrome C oxidase absorbs it. And so that was I think the first really big discovery in terms of mechanisms. And people are trying to understand how light can affect the cell. And which leads me to another kind of phototherapy that is easily accessible to everybody. And this is a phototherapy patch. When I was sick, somebody brought me this patch and they said it made their pain get better. And I was like, well, that's interesting because I had pain. I mean, I was in my 40s. And, oh, I was in my 50s. How old am I? I feel younger every day. But I was having pain in my foot. And I said, well, I'll give it a try. I'm interested to see if there's natural ways to improve pain. And I've tried it for a few days. I'm like, how can this be that a sticker is making me feel better? And then that requires you to start to look into the research around this. And is there a mechanism that makes sense so that I could continue to try it, right? Or is it just a placebo effect? I mean, that's a big question. And so there is some nice research looking at how these patches affect people's health. And in fact, the first patch that I used, which was the Ice Wave that's for pain, that's a class 1 medical device in France. So they've done a multi-center study around the Ice Wave. And that is pretty interesting that it clearly has been shown to help with pain. The big patch, though, that I want to talk about that really changed my life after the pain got better was something called the X39. And so the way these patches work is when you put them on the skin, a little bit of your light is reflected back to you in a very specific manner, which changes what's happening beneath the skin and at the cellular level in a full body way. What we see is, I like to show this slide because it helps you understand that it's not just a placebo. There's not a placebo effect in horses. And this horse is 6 months of using an anti-inflammatory patch, a dramatic change in the horse's coat. So also in the thermography reading, you see there the heat map. The X39 was really what changed my life when I went from being a person who couldn't exercise, and then there I was as a doctor telling people to exercise, but not really feeling like I could exercise because I was too fatigued, to being able to run again, to ski again, to run a half marathon, which I never thought I would ever do. Last time I did that before what was in my 20s. I never thought I'd do that again. And now it's let me just jump back into life because of the increased energy and ability of my body to turn on its own healing. So we see improved strength, stamina, sports performance, overall health is optimized. There are many things that get better when you put the X39 on. It's not instant because it takes time for your body to do the healing. This works by increasing a copper peptide in the body that is linked with turning on roughly 3,000 genes to a younger state. So that's why it makes such a dramatic change in both people's appearances and how somebody's feeling from the inside out. This is a picture of this woman who had a full arm bruise after an angiogram, and the doctor said it would take 3 to 4 weeks to get better, and that is historically what I've seen. Before I was a family doctor, I was a open heart ICU nurse, and these bruises would take forever to get better. And now you see this full arm clearing on day 5. Interesting. And it helps you understand something big is happening. This is a shift in a scar, 1 month of using the patch, a scar that was 1 year old from a previous abdominal surgery. And sometimes other things get better. And it's important to take before pictures so you can see how things change. Top view over the head, the face, scars, and we must track how we're feeling in terms of pain, energy, focus, sleep. All of these things can improve. And if you have something specific you're hoping to improve, you want to track that specifically because it turns on your body's ability to do the right thing. And that's what we want to tap into. And this is a wellness product. There are no medical claims, and you can look online at all the X39 testimonies. There's all kinds of people feeling better from lots of different things. And that's what's exciting. It's nice to see that. And so how do you get this? You can get this for $5 a day, and I don't suggest you pay $5 a day because you can, as a preferred customer or a brand partner, have it for $3.33 a day to turn on your stem cells, to turn on your healing by increasing that copper peptide in the body. And we are actively looking for people to help us share the word. And if you're interested in sharing the word, then reach out to me, clinic@feelgoodfunctionalmed.com. Or if somebody asks you to watch this video, you've got to get back in touch with that person because that means they're connected and they already have a way for you to be a part of our big movement. And this is a movement to help people heal and, understanding that it is a healing modality, and it's also a way that people can bring in extra income. It's easy. You don't have to buy a lot of patches. We just share, invite people to a Zoom conference or give them a patch and let the healing begin. So I want to encourage you to reach out to the person who asked you to watch this. And if you don't have anybody, you found it on your own, reach out to me, clinic@feelgoodfunctionalmed.com. Have an awesome